I hear often organisations claiming that they can't introduce flexible working because they don't trust their workforce. So if they're not, there's a belief that if they're sat at the desk between a start and a finish time, 5 days a week, then they're working. And I'd kind of challenge, are you actually working? You might be there, you might be present, but if you're worrying about how you're going to manage your childcare, how you're going to manage looking after your elderly parents, your mind's not necessarily in productive mode just because you're there 9 till 5. Whereas if an employer understood more about the individuals and they got to know their employees and understood that actually being flexible to help somebody with the personal circumstances would actually make them more productive. So they might not be sat at the desk, they could be at home, they could be working from a hospital, they could be working from wherever, but they'd be productive because they're in a frame of mind that they're not worrying about bigger problems and they can focus on what they're doing.
I think you've touched on two things and we might want to take them separately. One is HR or an organisation's perspective of flexibility, and then the other one is the individuals. My concern is, and I'm known as the HR anarchist. That's not because I don't believe in HR, absolutely the opposite. I passionately believe in HR, but I believe in HR that makes a positive strategic difference to the business. And the problem is we often take these things in isolation. You can't go into an organisation and introduce flexibility and get the benefits of that if you haven't got good recruitment processes. In other words, you're recruiting people who believe in the company, want to be successful. You can't introduce flexibility if you've got managers who are bad managers. Why? Because bad managers are not going to trust, they're going to try and command and control. So it's going to undermine. So if you want to introduce flexibility, you've got to adopt a strategic view of your HR policies and put in place a culture, put in place processes. You've got to select the right people into management. And all too often in HR, we focus on a tactic which doesn't have a strategic integration. And that to me is epitomised in performance appraisal, in compensation. Flexible working is one piece. And if an organisation says we can't allow flexibility because we can't trust our workers to be productive, what does that say about their recruitment? What does it say about their management? What does it say about their culture? I mean, I think they're questions that have to be answered first.
That's a really important point actually, isn't it? Because if you don't trust your workforce, that's not because of the people in your workforce. That's because of either how you've selected the people that you've brought in or how you're managing and educating and developing them.